Hi, this is Weekly Reflections, and I'm back. This is Nancy Joy. I was in Seattle last week, so missed sending out my video, but glad to be back with all of you now. What I want to talk about this week, I have discovered since I've been doing my free sessions, check them out on my website below or above if you're getting this email. I have met so many incredible people, really from all over, certainly this country and even beyond. It's been a great experience. But one thing that's surfacing that I think is really important right now as we approach final shifting here, what has come up is what Ezekiel calls shadow programming. So it's coming up in everybody, and I think as you hear me out, this may seem familiar to you. And I have kind of a solution, let's say, a place to go with it. Here's the quote, and it's from the Pleiadian High Council as channeled by Anna Merkaba. So here you have it. What we are trying to say to you is that the fear that many of you are experiencing at this moment in time is nothing more than the remnants of a civilization's past, the remnants of your body's remembrance. At the same time, the celebration of your heart's knowing. And I love that because it kind of sums up what I have been picking up and what Ezekiel has been sharing. There are deep subconscious memories in place. They're not conscious. All of us have done so much clearing, working on ourselves, learning, healing, for many years, and we are all feeling, as this quote says, the celebration of our hearts, knowing that the things that we've dreamed of in the golden age are quickly unfolding. And yet, recently especially, I'm getting people calling with the physical symptoms, the headaches, the heart palpitations, my personal favorite, shaking, blurred vision, all that kind of stuff, but also panic and betrayal feelings and disappointment kind of things. And they're very uncomfortable. Of course, it's more comfortable to be in that other space with your heart's knowing, right? But what is happening is there is shadow programming. All the old programming you've been working to clear since the new downloads on the December 2012 and the alignment with the Universal Center and all the high frequency, they are gone. They really are. They're gone. And so that's why there's no more of all this long processing and all this stuff to move through something if you're in your heart and on target. And yet, recently, especially I'd say within the past 60 days, really almost a healing crisis symptoms are returning with some of this stuff. And here's how Ezekiel explains it. You know, in a laboratory, when you put an organism or a cell in a Petri dish for a period of time, and then you remove the organism and put it under the light of the empty Petri dish, under the light of the microscope, there is a phantom shadow, an energetic remnant of the organism or cell that was in the Petri dish. And this slowly dissipates. And as it's discovered, you can create, if you're a scientist in a lab, a new Petri dish and have it gone instantly, right? So when the light is shined on this shadow programming, phantom almost, let's say, programming, it is easier for us to realize this doesn't belong to us. So if you can visualize when you're having these feelings of fear and panic and you're upset, what it's like to shine a light on something that's, say, hiding within you, these clinging shadow programs, or your ego's trying to keep them in place even though they're just an energetic signature. They're no longer a real pattern in your DNA because the DNA, of course, is being activated and reprogrammed. So what happens when you shine your light and become aware of it, you become aware of it because situations are causing those phantom shadows to take you back to the way you used to respond to things. So it's simply a matter of really understanding this and shining your light on it, if you think of it. And why you are feeling so agitated is as your light increases and you're shining your light and these shadows are revealed. Well, they're clinging. They don't want to go. They don't want to be. They want to stay hidden. They want to still control you from afar. That's how come your ego can use them. So they become agitated and fearful, and they run, but they cannot hide. And so a lot of the panic and fear you're feeling are actually coming from those energetic signatures that are dissipating now and leaving. And I hope that makes some sense to you, because, you know, here's how it came through in the written portion of this email, which is below for those on YouTube. It's kind of like all of a sudden we're saying, hey, I thought I got over all this fear long ago, or I can't believe doubt's creeping in. You know, I was so certain that this was all unfolding, and now I'm doubting and I feel abandoned. What's the dark cloud passing over me again? And when are my promised blessings going to rain down on me? Sound familiar? And all these shadow feelings have to be exposed so they can dissipate. And that's what this is all about. Your knowing, your heart's knowing is in full joy. But it doesn't mean you aren't going to have these remnants of, let's call them the olden days, of the way things were. Because you certainly will. But the thing to understand is they are dissipating. If you don't give them a lot of concrete energy, they'll dissipate. But you do have to recognize them and not be all upset that, oh my gosh, I'm not in my centered place. This is terrible. Well, that's going to make it more terrible, isn't it? So you just go, wow, here you are, shadow pattern. You know, I know this fear isn't my fear, and it isn't real fear. And allow and move through the fear, as Ezekiel has always said. You move into and through your fear when it surfaces. So just try to remember through these upcoming months, where things are going to get a little hairier, I believe, that these are the shadows, that shadow remnants that you yourself are clearing with your own God energy and divine energy and light. So moving on to just a little bit, there's this full moon today. I think it's in Sagittarius, or we're moving into Sagittarius, and the full moon's, oh gosh, I forgot already. Anyway, today, I'm recording this on Sunday, and in the morning today in the United States was the full moon, which is always about completion. So again, why shadow memories are coming up. But there is a lot coming up galactically, and a lot of talk about comet ISO, I'm saying it right, that's now getting very, very close to our sun and can actually be seen in the morning. And it's doing some very strange things. It can be seen at sunrise, like 4:30, 5:30, 6 in the eastern sky, close to, I believe, Venus or Mars, close to the planets there. And you can find out all this online, but it's changing rapidly, it's changing direction, and it's doing things that are unexpected. And there's a lot of theories out there that it's is it the blue kachina or the red kachina of prophecy? Some think the red kachina's, or the blue kachina has already been through in the comet in 2010 or 11, and this is now the red kachina. Noticed in the pictures online that it looks blue, but it's turning red. Maybe it's two comets in one. In any event, the prophecies about the kachinas and as the comets are quite strong. And so, you know, some are prophesizing that if this hits the sun in a certain way and affects our Earth and our magnetic pole, that there'll be disturbances. I have read that on November 28th, they say there'll be the comet will produce 3 days of darkness to awaken humanity. I don't know. I read a lot of these things that were going to happen haven't happened, or at least they haven't happened in the way we thought. So I'm going to dive into this next week because lots of information is coming through and it'll be a lot clearer. But you might in the meantime want to do some research on these things on your own. And remember, if panic and fear and things like that come up, these are remnants. Everything's happening exactly as it's supposed to on our planet. So have a great week. Remember, the free sessions are still going on. My new dolphin trip in Bimini is posted for Solstice 2014, June. So hope some of you will join us. Egypt is gaining momentum in March over the spring equinox. And Sedona's coming up in May. That's not posted yet, but there will be a great, great trip to the Red Rocks in Sedona with Ezekiel and I. So take care of who you are, and we'll see you next week. Bye.